to Tough Talk with me, Emerald. So, thank you all for tuning in each week. I know I disappointed you last week by not doing a Tough Talk. I was away, I was out of town, and me and my producer, my husband, needed to recalibrate what we wanted to do for the show. We've been talking about doing the 3-part cultural appropriation series, and we're going to do that, but we also understood that the RNC and the DNC were happening, and you know, these are pretty important events, so we wanted to make sure that we took the time to talk about those as well. So this week is RNC, next week is the DNC. After that, we're going back to our next 2 parts in cultural appropriation. I promise you that we're doing that because I'm super excited about what's to come for that. But this week, we are going to get started with a little bit of the pouring the tea, the lemonade, and other beverages because tonight I'm drinking a little bit of sangria. Let me take a sip. So first, can we talk about the NBA and how they're taking a huge stand right now? So, as a new resident of Charlotte, I must admit I'm a little disappointed that the NBA All-Star Weekend and game will not be happening in 2017. But as somebody who hates bullies, who hates oppression, who hates injustice, I'm super stoked that the NBA is like, nah, dude, fuck that. Like, we're not about to give your state any money because of House Bill 2, which is the one that basically says you have to use the restroom that identifies with the gender that in which you were born as, not the one that you identify as now. You all know the story. So the NBA is basically saying, you know what? People have the right to choose who they are, and we're not going to stand for this bigotry. So therefore, your city and your state are going to lose millions and millions of dollars. Like the last I heard, I think Charlotte was looking to sell out over 30,000 hotel rooms. 30,000 hotel rooms. So think about that. And for all of you out there who are like, yes, you know, yes, Governor, stand your ground, blah, blah, blah. Y'all the ones missing out. Y'all the ones working in the hospitality industry. Y'all the ones who are going to get the overtime. Y'all the ones who are going to be able to get your nails done that week. Like, that's on y'all. So think about that. Your bigotry is going to keep you in the poorhouse, okay? Because you needed that. That's what I'm going to say about that bullshit. Something else that happened in the past 2 weeks. So we all know about the shootings that have happened and the attacks on police. Well, The Game, he's a rapper for those of you who don't know. He decided that he was going to put together kind of this meeting with about 100, I think over 100 black celebrities. And this is just to talk about kind of what's happening in our country. Talk about the violence, the police brutality, talk about how we respond as a community, talk about how our allies can be involved, just everything. And really pull together how they can use their influence to make things better, because it's kind of shitty right now, right? Like, and we understand, like, people are into celebrity culture and pop culture and what's going on. Shit, I have a whole segment on pouring the tea on pop culture, so that's what people are into. The celebrities that were there were, like, major celebrities, right? You had, like, Jesse Williams, T.I., Megan Good, Tina Knowles Lawson, that's right, Beyonce Mama was there, Tasha Smith, Kimberly Elise, Boris Kojo, and Nicole Ari Parker, and the list goes on. A lot of other activists were there. And something that I thought was really cool about it was that there were some celebrities who were like, you know, I may not be the one on the front line. Like, I may not be the one on stage giving the speech like Jesse Williams, but I'm supporting this community and I'm supporting whatever we choose to do and how we choose to move forward. And that goes back to what I was saying 2 weeks ago. Everybody has a place in the movement. Even in the celebrity world, right? Even they don't always want to be out front, but they can support in other ways. So keep that in mind. Like, this is something that's happening, and people are starting to realize their place in the movement. Let's see. What other bullshit's going on? So, David Duke, who was leader of the KKK, has decided that he wants to run for Senate. So that's a thing. And he is touting some of the same things that Donald Trump has talked about. So, you know, keep that in mind, because it's not just the president that's up for election. There are Senate and House seats that are up for re-election. Get out and vote. And it's not every 4 years. Guess what? It's every 2. So make sure you get out and vote, okay? What else do I want to talk about? Hillary picked her running mate. So we have Tim Kaine out of Virginia. My husband, who is a native Virginian, says that he's all right. He was the mayor of Richmond when my husband was growing up. So, you know, he's like, yeah, he's cool. But, like, he ain't nothing to write home about. Like, she could have did a Cory Booker or, you know, somebody who was going to, like, get people jazzed up. But She been real safe. She trying to get that white male vote, I guess. That's what she's trying to do. So that happened this week. And then, so let me tell you. Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and Taylor Swift. Y'all, I have been living for this drama. And let me tell you why. I'm a simple girl, okay? I don't like what these Kardashian Jenners is doing. People would like put memes on my wall on Facebook and stuff, and I'd be like, get that off my wall, get that trash off my wall. Like, I don't have nothing to do with them. Taylor Swift has always been just kind of real fake in her own little girl power, exclusive feminist world that I don't have nothing to do with. Kanye lost his mom after his mama died. He said he really lost his mind after that, for real. He said it in one of his songs, lost my mama, lost my mind. That shit's real. So I haven't been, dealing with it too much. But this shit, I got 3 things to say about this, okay? First of all, Taylor Swift is a snake. And she's finally been exposed for the snake that she is. Her little America sweetheart, wants everybody to be in her clique. Girl power, bullshit ass stuff has been revealed to the world for the snake that she actually is, okay? Let's stop congratulating and awarding her for her mediocrity, because she's a pretty little white girl. And pretty, I'm using that term very loosely right now. I'm tired of awarding mediocrity when it comes to her, okay? So let's stop doing that. She's a snake in the grass. Let's see what she is. 2, as much as I don't like Kim Kardashian West, whatever her name is, the bitch standing up for her man, right? She's like, y'all ain't about to keep putting my man on blast. Like, he doing stuff wrong. Like, he always in the wrong. Like, he doing this poor little white girl wrong. He the big bad black man. Like, y'all ain't about to keep doing this to my man. So she stood up for her man, and as somebody who is always standing up for her man and on her man's side, like, I get it, girl. So kudos to you. 3rd, y'all better keep your receipts, okay? Y'all better keep them text messages, them emails. You better screenshot them Snapchats, them Facebook messages, because Kim pulled out her receipts on Taylor and was like, oh, but you said what now? You did not know about what, huh? Let me show you your receipts right here. And so I got to give it to her. I got to give it to Kim Kardashian. She earned that much respect from me, because if the bitch is talented at one thing, it's at putting videos out, and we all know that. So I will drink to that. Let me get a little bit more because of this top story. Okay. Top story is the RNC, Republican National Convention, for those of you who may not know, although I'm pretty sure you all know. Couple things I'm going to go over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because it's the circus that we all thought it was going to be. So 1, Donald Trump is officially the Republican nominee. He was voted in by delegates and he accepted. I was really hoping that there would be like a coup and they would vote in like Mitt Romney. Now, you know stuff is messed up when I'm hoping for the days of Mitt Romney. Like, bruh, I want Mitt Romney. That's saying a lot right now. But I was hoping that people would band together and be like, nope, we throwing all our votes to Mitt Romney or to Jeb. But man, Jeb Bush, I wish Jeb Bush was a nominee. None of the Bushes were there. Like, think about how anti-establishment this convention was. There wasn't a single Bush there. And there have been 2 presidents out of that family. And not a single Bush was there, right? And then, can we talk about how, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Ted Cruz was super gangster. Like, Ted Cruz gets up in front of the entire convention and basically says, vote your conscience. It doesn't have to be party lines. Like, he still is not endorsing Donald Trump. He still is giving him the big old middle finger and is like, I don't want nothing to do with you, sir. And I'm going to tell the constituents of Texas and the world that they don't have to have anything to do with you just because they usually vote conservative. That is saying a lot about how much Ted Cruz hates Donald Trump. And I have to give it to him. As much as I hate him, he's sticking to his guns and keeping his principles on that. So, you know what, Ted Cruz? I see you. I see you. Let's talk about Ivanka. Ivanka spoke last night introducing her father. Like, I really like Ivanka Trump, and it makes it really hard because, like, she's Donald Trump's daughter, right? But if you think about the things that she said, talking about you know, like family leave and just women's rights. She really was giving a democratic platform under the rules of it being a Republican platform, a conservative platform. So I don't really know what's going on there. And I think that's the fact that her and Chelsea Clinton are best friends. Like, something ain't right. I feel like they're going to pull a parent trap and like do a switch on us at some point. So we need to keep our eyes open on that, because that shit is weird to me. And it made me like Donald Trump. I'm not going to go that far. It made me be like, if Donald Trump going to do those things, that sounds like things that a Democratic nominee might do. You know, like it made you kind of rethink. So Ivanka either has a plan up her sleeve to trick us, and her dad's going to switch around when if he gets elected, or Ivanka Trump is a witch and she had me spellbound while I was watching her, and I don't really know what I heard. And it could be the latter. I'm not claiming it's not the latter, but that happened. And then lastly, from this week at the RNC, Mrs. Trump, Melania, decided that she wanted to, you know, steal some parts of Michelle Obama's speech from the 2008 DNC, and, you know, vehemently denied that she did so until a staff writer from the Trump campaign said that she wrote the speech and that she did that, and kind of fell on that sword for them. Now, I'm just going to say this. It was a lot of general stuff that was stolen. You know, stuff that people say all the time. You work hard, you word your bond, you do what you say you're going to do, all of that good stuff. I get that. I think the problem is that, one, y'all always stealing from black people. That's actually the only problem. Like, really? Like, y'all talk so much junk about this family, about the Obamas, and about how they're not fit to lead, and whatever else, whatever other bullshit you say about them. And here you are stealing from them, because that's what y'all do. Y'all steal from us. Whether it's dance moves, whether it's fashion, whether it's slang, because y'all was not saying yes, queen, before I was saying yes, queen. Whether it's music. And I was thinking to myself, 2 minutes beforehand, you had a senator from New York talking about how no other subgroup has contributed more to civilization. And here you are stealing shit from us. You know, let's think about that for a minute. Melania, sit your ass down. Girl, you need an ELL class or something, because clearly you didn't write that speech, because if you had, you would have known that you was biting the first lady. So that's what I say about that. Let me take a drink, because we're about to get into our social justice or bust, and it was a doozy today. So give me a second. I really might have to get a little drunk for this one. Okay, so those of you who follow me on Snapchat, you know that today I had a conversation with a friend of mine regarding the hashtag All Lives Matter. It was really interesting. She and I are new friends, maybe about 4 months in now, and I really like her. And after all the shootings happened, she had been, you know, everybody's posting on social media, and she started posting whatever she would, you know, her opinions, and then she would hashtag All Lives Matter. And so after I saw it once or twice, I was kind of like, I need to take a break from this. She's a white girl. I was like, I need to take a break from like talking to her, because I was starting to get in my head and get in my feelings a little bit. And finally, you know, with my husband kind of pushing me along, he was like, no, you should really talk to her about this. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. And so she and I went to lunch today, and she was like, you know, you've been kind of distant. Did I piss you off? And I said, we got to talk about this All Lives Matter. And so I'm not going to explain to you all, although I'll probably get into a little bit, why this is so divisive. But I do want to give you a point of view, her point of view. And I wish she was here. She's supposed to be here tonight, but she is also a parent. So, you know, things come up. When we talked about it, you know, she really did not initially understand why that was so problematic. She saw it as, she was just saying that everybody in the world, like, nobody should be dying unfairly, nobody should be persecuted, like, none of these things should be happening. Like, she really feels like all lives matter, as we all do. And I, you know, and then I went and explained to her how that was just a way to kind of squash the idea that Black lives actually experience some turmoil right now. And I used the example of, you know, if you say that you broke your foot, and I look at you and I'm like, yeah, but all of your limbs are important. Like, she'll look at me like, bitch, you just hear I broke my foot, like I'm having a problem with my foot. That's essentially kind of what it means when you say all lives matter. And we talked through it over lunch and margaritas. There had to be margarita. There had to be liquor involved. And, you know, it was just really interesting because she didn't get that. She really was coming from a place of she wants everybody to be okay, again, as we all do. And so I bring this story up because I think it's important. I know I was getting in my head about how, like, it's not my job to educate people. Like, people need to get real familiar with Google, because if you want to know what's going on in the movement, you can always Google things. It's not my, you know, I start to, I don't want to say feel sorry for myself, but, like, I start to get real righteous, right? Like, I'm like, I got to educate you on my oppression. First of all, I got to be oppressed. Then I got to educate you on my oppression. And then I got to make room for you in the oppression so you can help work against it. Like, it's just, it feels like a lot sometimes. But this was one of those moments where taking the time to have a conversation with somebody actually moved the needle forward and made strides for things to get a little bit better, right? She's a parent and she has family, she has friends who she can then have this conversation with. And if I had just ghosted her, like that might not have ever happened with somebody else. So big up, Lauren. Thanks for having the conversation with me. Thanks for calling me out for ghosting you. That also took some guts to be like, bitch, I know you're not texting me back. Like, what's going on? But just kind of remember that there are going to be times where we're tired of having this conversation. We feel like we're hitting our heads up against brick walls, but it is not falling on deaf ears. Again, shout out Caitlin Wade for reminding me of that. Another friend of mine who told me, you know, keep doing what you're doing because people need to hear this stuff. And just because sometimes I do get tired, but it doesn't mean that people don't need to hear it. It doesn't mean they're not sharing it out with their friends and their family. So I'm really grateful for my friends. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have a medium to have these conversations. And y'all, it's not always going to be easy, right? Like, it's hard to have those conversations. It's hard to say, here's why this is wrong. Here is why this hurts me. Here's why this is detrimental to my entire community. But we have to go there with people. I'm going to end soon, but there are just a few more things I want to say. So earlier today, I was really upset, right? Because somebody posted something about how black women had contributed to the state of the black man right now. And it's basically saying that, like, it was a bunch of bullshit. And I just want to say this. To all of my black men out there who watch this, to everybody out there who watches this. If black women seem like they have an attitude or a chip on their shoulder or whatever it is that you want to call it, it's because we do. And I'm damn proud of it. Something that I told my husband earlier, and I was in tears about this. I was really upset about this. And there's kind of this uncut video of me like going off on this. But you have to understand that as the black woman in America, there are things that, like, I've had to endure. There's generational trauma that I'm enduring, right? Because at one point in time, my family was ripped apart. My husband is put over here in chains. He can't protect me and my children, okay? I'm in a new place. I have to please my master in whatever way he sees fit. I have to breed with my husband and whatever other slave on the plantation that my master wants me to breed with. I have to be nice to the master's wife because she wants to whoop my ass because the master would rather be in my bed at night. I have to take care of my children, okay? I have to take care of my master's children, usually before I take care of my own children. And I still have to go out and pick 100 bushels of cotton a day. So yeah, sometimes we have a chip on our shoulder. Sometimes we feel like we're stronger than everybody else. And sometimes we have a bit of attitude. But please believe, it didn't just come out of nowhere. We're not just doing it to be difficult. These are things that we have endured over centuries. And it's hard. And we are still disrespected. We are still not considered beautiful. We are still overlooked when it comes to promotions. We still make less than not only men, but also than white women. Where you talking about you make 79 cents on the dollar, I make 68. So, you know, a little bit of grace would be nice every now and again. My final thought, I'm going to leave you with a quote. So just kind of thinking about HB2, thinking about the All Lives Matter thing, just thinking about everything. Just remember this. Each time a person stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, they send out a tiny ripple of hope. And that was said in South Africa in 1966 by, obviously, Melania Trump. I'm just joking. That was Robert Kennedy. But just remember that anytime you stand up against something that is unjust, you are sending out a ripple of hope. And those ripples, they become an ocean, and we can change the world. So, you know what? I'll see you guys next time, and keep sipping.